Hey, what's going on? So in today's video, I'm going to be replacing this starter in my 2016 Chevy Silverado 2500. I went out to plow the other night at 3 a.m. Turned the key, dashboard lights up, truck won't start. Tried jumping it and everything, that wasn't the battery. So pretty much, I think it's the starter. So I just picked up a new starter at NAPA and I'm going to be swapping this thing out. So I watched a video about how to do this. I'll link that down below. It's basically going to be the same video. He left out some parts, so I'm going to try to cover everything that he didn't talk about. I'm going to have a list of all the tools that I use in this video in the video description. You're going to need a 10mm, a 13mm, and a 15mm socket. You're going to need a socket extension. I have a 3-inch here. You're actually going to need a 6-inch. And a 10, a 13, and 15mm wrench. I'm going to be using an impact drill with an attachment for the socket. You're also going to need a large breaker bar for the socket and a can of Freol or some sort of penetrating oil to loosen up the bolts. And then I got out the jack for my truck, so this is under the back seat. So with the jack, there's actually wheel chocks, so you can put these under the wheel so your truck doesn't move. I just happen to have some for my trailer, so I threw those under my wheels. And he also had a little pick tool to get something off once he was under there, but I don't know if I'm going to need that or not. I don't have the exact tool that he had. It's just like a pointy stick. So let me bring you over here. So my driveway is gravel and it is a mud pit right now. So I've got a block of wood with the jack on it, and there's a spot right there where you're supposed to put the jack. So I've got it there. I also have a jack stand, so I just put this here so that in case this thing fails, there's a secondary something or other, because I don't really fit under there unless the truck is jacked up. So if this thing falls, that would be a bad day. Now, it seems like it would be easier to access from right where the jack is, just sliding under here, but we can't do that. So I got to slide in from under the truck. So I've got a tarp, and basically the starter is like straight back from where the jack is underneath the motor on the back side. You can see it in here a little bit. I don't know if you can see it, but it's through there on the other side of the frame here. So you can't access it from here. I saw a video where the guy took the wheel off and took this whole panel out to get to it, but not in this truck. It must have been maybe in an older Chevy or maybe the 1500. So that's not the way to do it. We're gonna be crawling underneath the front. All right, so I'm up here in the battery compartment. I don't know if they all look like this or this is just because I have a plow attached. You can't really disconnect the positive side because this bar is in the way. You can't get to this bolt from straight on. So anyway, the guy in the video disconnected the negative. So that's what I'm going to be doing, is just disconnecting this right here. And that's just a 10mm nut. So I'm going to use the drill with, I don't even need the extension, but he used the extension for this. And I'm just going to loosen that up. And then once that's loose, we're going to pop this off and slide it out of the way so that it can't reconnect. That's what he said. Just make sure it's out of the way so it can't accidentally just like come back. Now that the battery's disconnected, I can mess with the starter and not worry about getting shocked. Now I'm gonna climb under there and unbolt this thing. We'll see how that goes. So this looks completely different than the video that I watched. There was a heat shield on the side here, blocking it from the exhaust, which is right here. So I don't know, maybe there should be a heat shield on here and it's broken off. I don't really know. There's a bunch of corrosion up there, so maybe there used to be a heat shield. I'm not really sure. This is actually my problem right here. The lead broke off of the starter, so I won't find this until I get the starter out because I can't see this from my perspective. I'm not really too worried about it. I just want to get this starter replaced. So I'm going to pull these two bolts out that I can see, and then I know there's some power connected and stuff, so we're going to see what that all looks like. All right, so you're going to need a 6-inch extension to get in here. I tried to do this at first with my impact wrench, but it was not strong enough to take these bolts off. So I borrowed a breaker bar, which I'll jump right to that. I'll skip past this part. All right, so I couldn't get the bolts off, so I got a big breaker bar and some Freol. I talked to my mechanic, who I normally go to, and he actually lent me this. So that was cool of him. And I got my extension on there. We're gonna try that. So I'm gonna go under there and spray this, and then we'll try again. I don't know if I've already mentioned this, but I'm wearing safety glasses because shit keeps dripping on me. And especially now that I'm gonna spray this, I don't want this in my eyeballs. Alright, so I'm just gonna let that penetrate for, I don't know, a couple minutes, and then try to unbolt it.
1 minute later.
I'm impatient. I don't think it's even been a minute yet. I'm gonna give this a shot. Oh yeah. Okay, get that one started. Yeah, baby. All right, so now that I got them loose, I've got my drill again, and I'm gonna get them just off the rest of the way with the drill. Okay, there's one. There's two. All right, now I just grab the starter and wiggle it and twist it a little bit, and it just kind of like pops right out. There's not much holding it in. All right, there's the old one. You get it out. Oh, that's f***ing busted. That might be my issue right there. That wire that connects onto there is busted. Gotcha. Well, let's pull this off. This is the part where I said you might need the tool, the little pick. It's just a pointy thing to get this clip open. And I didn't have something, and I didn't want to crawl out from under the truck, so I just used my fingernails. All right, so that wire right there is broken. All right, so I got the cable off. It was a pain in the let me show you where it was connected to the battery right there. That was really hard to get off because this is in the way. That's why I didn't take this off in the first place. But I was able to get that off using a socket and not putting it down all the way, and then not putting the socket in all the way. A deep socket was too tall and a regular socket was too short, but I got it off. It was connected to this wire, so it was all taped up and inside this loom piece right here. And then that goes down, and this is a whole wiring harness for a whole bunch of stuff in here. So I got to retape a whole bunch of things, and that's a pain in the ass. Anyway, I got that all off. I had to cut the connector right here. It's just like a little zip tie connector because I couldn't pull it through. And then there's another one down there. You can see it where it was connected down there. So I'm gonna have to find some way to connect back to the frame there. Closest thing they had was 42 inches, and the one I got is 36 inches. But it wasn't really long enough anyway to get the alternator out, so I'm okay with it being a little long. I'll just have to zip tie it in and make it so it's okay. So let me show you what I got here. All right, so here's the old one. I actually cut the end off of it trying to pull it through, but it wouldn't pull through the loom because I cut it and it was like wider there, and this is like really tight on that wire, so couldn't pull it through. There is some sort of heat protection tape here, which wasn't in great shape anyway. So I happen to just have this duct tape that I've had for a long time that's max temp 200 degrees Fahrenheit. So I'm gonna wrap a bunch of it on there. I have loom from another project when I did all the lighting on the truck. So I'm gonna wrap it in that, and then wrap the tape down on the bottom and wrap the ends in electrical tape. They have them all sealed off with electrical tape. So seal everything up and then run this wire back through and put it all back together. I'm gonna try it with the old starter because once I saw that was broken, I think that's the problem. I did call NAPA. They will take this back, so it's not a problem. And I'll save myself like 200 bucks. So let's give it a shot. All right, so I got my new wire here. I put the loom on. I put some electrical tape on the ends just to hold it in place, but it is split loom, so it's not sealed, and I'm not gonna tape the whole thing. I did tape this where it goes down past the motor so that it'll be protected. Slide that thing down in there and then connect it. One thing to note is the video I watched said 10 and 13 millimeter sockets you're gonna need. This is actually a 15 millimeter socket. All right, well, the sun's gone down, so I got a little light. Hopefully you can see me. It's not too hard to see this going on here, but let me show you what I did here. So I got everything hooked back up again. Here is the new wire right here, and here's the old one. I ran some loom around it all the way down. You can't even see it, and I zip tied it on there, so it's connected right here. I got the battery hooked back up. All right, moment of truth. Yeah. All right, so I am officially a mechanic now. So that worked. I'm super happy. I just saved myself a lot of money, although it took me all day to do this, mainly because I just had to drive around and get parts and tools and things that I didn't have here. But I was able to do it myself, so I feel a little bit more confident now going forwards, and I didn't have to use the new starter, so I get to return that and save myself 200 bucks. So I'm super pumped about that. All right, thanks for watching. If you got anything out of this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up down below. And subscribe to the channel if you're interested in more stuff that has to do with plowing. This is my plow truck, so that's why it's on this channel. All right, see you next time.